have you seen Muller's record? Because you talk about it's not how many you score, it's when you score. So if you're a when you score merchant, have you seen this guy's goal record? It's unfortunate, man, and it's crazy the timing of this. Because literally, I think it was either this week or last week, I think there were people saying that, get Muller, get Muller. Actually, shout out to Jonas Philbeck, Horseman member on the Patreon and on the YouTube things as well. So I think it was Jonas Philbeck. So Jonas, it was him because he sent me a message on Patreon and said, HH, have you seen Muller's record? Because you talk about it's not how many you score, it's when you score. So if you're a when you score merchant, have you seen this guy's goal record? Have you seen his goal ratio? Have you seen the winning goals he scored when he has scored and so forth? Even if it was for a short span of time, do you know the kind of quality that he's done and the goals in which he has scored in and the high pressure moments and when he's shown up in the high pressure moments? And I was like, you know what? I think this may be something that we should discuss and have. I think that should he really be a horseman? But before we get there, obviously condolences, man, 75. So I know guys that are still in their 70s and so forth. So even if it's not young, it's not old, So obviously, condolences to the family. And, Germany have lost one of their greatest players. When you think of German legends, you think of Beckenbauer, you think of Rudi Völler, you think of Kahn. I think Neuer is going to enter that thing as well. You think of Bart Simpson, aka Philipp Lahm. You think of Gerd Muller. So Gerd Muller is in that kind of small club of these are true German legends who were not only amazing in their position, but also what they helped to contribute to the team, European Championships. He played in the 1972 European Championship. He was top scorer. So he achieved that. So he was top scorer in the tournament with 4 goals. And he scored 2 goals in the final. You know what I always say that? It's all well and good being quality in the tournament, but the most difficult game, the hardest game, is the final. So not only did he ball in the whole tournament, not only was he top scorer in the tournament, doing the best as he could as in his position, in his role as a striker, he also said what's up by dropping a 2-piece in the final. I think it was against Soviet Union. But my main thing is international. And for me, international, I feel, is the most difficult form of football, and that is where Gerd really lies through, because international is where things get difficult. I don't care if they play for Brazil, Germany, or so forth. It is difficult getting ready and psyching yourself up and being ready to really perform for a World Cup, something that happens every 4 years. So let's roll with that. So Muller scored 68 goals in 62 games for West Germany. I'll say that again. He scored 68 goals in 62 games for West Germany. Translation, he scored more goals than in games he played in. He was Germany's all-time leading scorer for almost 40 years. So for 40 years, he was Germany's all-time leading goal scorer until 2014 when Klose broke the record in that 7-1 castration. So his career started in 1966 and ended on the 7th of July 1974. And well, so because 1974, 7th of July was the final where they played against the Netherlands. And if anybody does not know what happened, that was a game in which, remember how we talk about tiki-taka, this, blah, blah, Pep is a genius? No. Pep didn't invent tiki-taka. The first form of tiki-taka, the first form of that high press, the first form of the kind of football that we now see now being played a lot by Pep and many teams, was obviously introduced by Rinus Michels and so forth, and the whole Dutch total football thing. I even read the freaking book. So before that game, Netherlands were the favorites. The Netherlands were the favorites to win that game with their passing football that they thought would revolutionize football. So the whole thing was Netherlands would completely, totally outplay Germany. They were overconfident and they believed that they would destroy Germany because they felt that Germany represented an old style of football. Then this Netherlands team were representing a new style of football and once they win, that would have just been a very symbolic moment in showing how football would be changed. But West Germany said no. They stuck to their football. They stuck to their tradition of the direct kind of pragmatic way of playing. And they said, what's up? And guess who scored the winning goal? Gerd Muller. Gerd Muller. And his 10... So his 4 goals in that tournament and his 10 goals at the 1970 World Cup combined to make him the all-time World Cup goal scorer with 14 goals. So from that point on, I think in 1974, he was the all-time goal scorer. Until that was, of course, broken by Ronaldo in 06 when he scored that goal against Ghana. And there's another one here. Because, so he held the single-season Bundesliga record with 40 goals in a season, in a 71-72 season. And that record held only up until last. That record was only broken last year by, of course, Lewandowski when he scored 41 goals in that game. So he held the record for most goals scored in a calendar year, striking 85 goals in 1972, until his total was surpassed 40 years later in 2012 by Lionel Messi, who have scored 92. These are really healthy stats. And I think it's something that we should definitely discuss on the Sunday Hangout, because the Sunday Hangout is all for the debates, Because I have to think about this, because he has almost everything I ask for a horseman. So you said what's up in the club game. So you've conquered the highest form of club football. You said what's up in the World Cup, which is what I always told guys. I told you, like, the World Cup is the bare minimum you have. Without a World Cup, you can't even be considered to be a horseman. So he said what's up in a World Cup, scoring the World Cup final, and also he held the record for most goals scored internationally, which was only broken in 2006. So then my thing is, okay, does he have the impact? What impact does he have? So the only thing that's missing is, how did he help to revolutionize the game? What kind of impact did he have as an individual? The way that Pele's impact was, Maradona's impact was, Beckenbauer's impact was, Ronaldo's impact was, and so basically those guys' impact was also, Zidane's impact was. But the thing that gets, which is where we now have to get into the debate, is he held specific records that's held for many years. The one that shocked me the most was the Messi one. So he held that record all through the 80s, all through the 90s, all through the early 2000s, and it was only broken in 2012 by Messi, a guy that we consider perhaps the greatest club player of all time and one of the most talented players of all time. So it took a guy who is probably one of the most gifted football players that we've ever seen to break his record that's held for that long. I look at the evidence and there is room for debates. So the only thing that holds me back is, did he really have the kind of impact that's the other 5 horsemen have? Because that's my thing, is that thing of you revolutionize football in a way, and you revolutionize your role in that kind of way. That's what I want to talk about. But I think that debate is for after, but this is for Gerd Muller. I mean, your legacy sets. I think what people try to achieve is immortality. Where you do something on this planet that really transcends death. And that's what you've done, because anytime we talk about the greatest strikers of all time, we have to talk about Gerd Muller, because we have debates about, is he top 10, is he top 5? 1000%. Gerd Muller is minimum top 5 greatest strikers of all time. And if you push things based on the research I've now seen, you can make an argument of top 3. Strikers, not goal scorers, strikers, the role of striker, because for me, I separate strikers from inside forwards and wide forwards. I separate those things. Striker, for me, I put them in a particular category. So if you look at that whole thing, man, Gerd Muller has a great case. But bro, condolences to the family and so forth. You're not only a German legend, this is a football channel, you are a footballing legend.